Coach Tan on the So What podcast. Took a couple weeks off, that's right, because I had some family and friends and special someones in town, and just wanted to get back to business with all of you because I've been getting blown up in my DMs about a certain topic. And so I thought, okay, let's do it. Let's go into it, because we've talked about some of this before, and you know it's relationship talk because that's what everybody wants to hear about from the East Coast. So what, Coach Tan? And it is the right way to break up, and when you know that you're ready to move on and start dating again, and how do you figure that out? And I'm going to start off with, you are your own expert, right? And there is no, follow this, get here, time for this, timeline. So, but, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice since I've been getting, should I stay, should I go, is ghosting okay, when is ghosting okay, when do I stop thinking, it was when I stopped thinking about that special someone that, then I know it's time to move on. And, all these questions. And so, first off, I'm going to keep it, real with you all here. I almost said straight talk, but we know I'm not straight, so it feels weird saying straight talk. So, I'm just going to keep it real. And what I'm going to say to you is ghosting is weak. Okay, it is completely weak. Like, if you know someone enough to, share an intimate moment with, their drink, order, and as long as there's no, harm being done or abusive treatment, threatening, all that kind of stuff, that is completely, get lost and get away from that situation. But in the situation where, it is, you have been intimate with this person, you have, broken bread with them, friends know, whatever, it is time for you to just say, so what, to all that fear inside, and just pick up the phone, if that is, if it's a long distance relationship, or if it isn't, and they're a mile, 2 miles, 10 miles, whatever away, and if you could drive to meet them for dinner, well, you can drive to have a conversation with them. Ghosting, I'm going to tell you, I think is completely weak. And if you've kissed this person, and you've, like I said, shared intimate moments with this person, it is time for you to own up and have the hard conversation. And, I will tell you that, why do you do this? There's all kinds of reasons. I'll tell you right now, if you're a lesbian, forget about 60 degrees of separation. How about 2 degrees? It's your friend's best friend, whatever. You're going to see this person. There's 2, 3 clubs or something that, you go to dance with your friends. Yeah, best to have a conversation and deal with it, especially, in that lesbian world. But in every world, it is how you should walk through the world, right? Respect the people that you have allowed in your life, and they should respect you just the same. And yes, people say, T, why do you still call people your sweethearts that you dated and they're not your sweethearts anymore? Why? Because they were important to me. They were somebody that was in my life, whether it was months, years, whatever. And, the road turns, sure, but the love was still love. And if I didn't, own up to that, and stop making them a villain or an enemy or this boogeyman that, is, you don't want to mention their name because something evil is going to happen, and, you broke up with them in 2001, come on now, it's time to get on, right? It's time to move on. But it's not time to erase the goodness. And I think that's where sometimes the challenges are, is if I say something nice or if I leave this nice, whatever, then it's good, and it's easier to be mad and angry than it is to remember the good. Well, I'm going to tell you, you heal faster if you can just own up to the shit that there was good stuff there. And yeah, hello, why am I going to forget, the nice conversations, maybe something you learned about yourself, something that made you a better person? Why the hell should you have to forget that just because your road turns and you weren't meant to be together, right? Because of circumstance, because of, whatever it is, right? And so, which leads me to what I call the peanut butter and jelly sandwich method, right? Of what I think is a good way to just have a hard conversation. And I'm sure some of you have heard the compliment sandwich, whatever, however it's been kind of sent to you. But this one's a little bit more deeper, and I think just a more reality. And, let's start off with that top slice of the bread, the good stuff, right? This is where you want to take a moment and you want to remind them of why it is that you chose to date them, kiss them, remember their coffee order, right? So it is saying something like, I'm really happy that, our friends introduced us to one another. They were right on because you are an amazing person. You got a big heart, and I'm so thankful that you came into my life, right? And that's the nice soft piece of bread. Now we're going to go to the peanut butter, and it's the messy truth of the situation. It's why you're here. It's why you're doing this. It is why you're breaking up, right? And just like peanut butter gets sticky in your teeth, sometimes it's hard to get the words out. But I will tell you, you want to be clear, you want to be honest, and you don't want to sugarcoat it. Because peanut butter, let's be honest, is not sweet if it's the real deal, right? It is messy, yucky, but it still tastes good. And, there was good there, right? It's like I was saying, there was good there. But it is messy because you're telling them that something that's going to might hurt them. They might be feeling the same way, and they're like, thanks, and they're still going to respect you. But it's something like, an example of like, hey, I'm so glad the time that we've spent together, but it's really obvious to me that we are on different paths, my friend. I am not ready. Maybe they're ready to settle down. You're not. Maybe you're just in a different stage of your life. Maybe it's just you're not attracted anymore. But it is time to like own up to it. And of course, don't say, hey, you're ugly and I don't want to date you anymore. That's stupid and mean. But it is more about just saying like, hey, I'm looking for something different. It's just being clear. It's being concise. It is not sugarcoating it. And it's just, getting through that messy. And now jelly is messy, but it's sweet. Right? And that's why I call it the jelly. And this is where you're trying to pull yourself out of that sticky peanut butter, and you're getting, you're doing it with a little bit of sweetness, but you got to get through it, right? And that is, again, saying, I know I still have some growing to do, but I really learned a lot in this relationship, and you really helped me understand, like, maybe it is about commitment, that you're further along in commitment than I am right now, and, I'm sorry, but I'm just not ready for this relationship, right? And this is where it gets really tough, where you might want to say the maybes and maybe in the future. Don't do it. If you know that it's not, don't do your maybes, right? This is where that final bottom slice of bread comes in. You land in cushion, but it's closed. You got to close that door. Do not backtrack. Do not soften it to give them hope. Do not throw in, like I said, the maybe someday. It just confuses people, and it gets you back into that peanut butter. I am telling you like that. So just say, I wish you the best. I'm such a better person for meeting you. I'm so happy that I met you on my love journey. I'm grateful for the time we've spent together. But, and I know I'm wishing you the best, right? It is closing that sandwich so that you can be done, my friends. And so, again, this is just to give you some structure. It does not work. A breakup is different, everything. But I will tell you, I think that, using this type of method, it just is helpful. It's messy. Relationships are messy. Breakups are even messier. But it's a way to structure it and to be clean. So, yes, you can move on to your next chapter. And that doesn't mean go jumping on to Hinge or Bumble or whatever one of these things, her app. No, it is just closing the door, closing that sandwich so that you can move to your next chapter. Okay. And what is that next chapter? Well, you got to do some internal work after this. I don't care if this person, again, I'm not talking about the hookup that you met at the club, the bar, whatever like that, blah, 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 right? You dated for a week. I'm talking about if you've been in a relationship with this person in an intimate way for a period of time, you got to do some internal work, my friends. You got to sit down and do what? You know what I'm going to say? Write down some things, right? So it is, what did you learn? What did you love about that relationship? What didn't work? What changed in you? What did you change that felt good, right? And what do you want to take with you, maybe leave behind, stuff that you learn about yourself? If they do this, then I can't, this is a deal breaker for me. Every relationship we go through teaches us something, but we got to sit down and remember what we went through so that we can learn from it. That is, I think, a huge key in finding like a way to get grounded and to heal. Again, doesn't mean, okay, I wrote my list T, and so now I'm going to jump out there and go, meet my next lady love. No, that is not what I'm saying, people. Everything is different. I'm just saying this is a way to help you process things. Because in order to, get to, that next segment that you're all maybe excited about getting to, which is going to meeting somebody else, it is like really trying to walk through what just happened, right? So that you can get into that next relationship a little bit stronger, a little bit more healthier. And it also will help you figure out, it might be time to date again, right? And I will tell you, some people say, oh, T, does it mean okay, I have stopped talking, I've stopped thinking about them? That is just so stupid. You are going to think about the last person you dated. You're even going to recall it, remember it, and process it and go through it. What I will tell you don't do is don't do it with the next person you're dating, because nobody wants to hear about it. And it happens if they ask you situations. I'm not saying it's this person out here that it's a lock and clear, so you don't go into the door. You got to, right? If they're asking, you got to be open and honest. You don't have to say the name, whatever, but you got to be open and honest. But they're not the person that you should be processing shit through, okay? But, and it doesn't mean if you're mentioning someone's name or you're still kind of you're doing some compare and analysis, which we all friggin' do, so just own up to it. But do it in private. Do it with a list. Do it with a therapist. Do it with a friend that, loose lips they don't have, because that sinks ships, as my great grandmother used to say. So, but find a friend that that will not cross that line and open their mouth and share it to people, and kind of process it through and go through it. Now, that doesn't mean if you're doing that and you're in the beginning of a relationship, oh my God, I got to break up because I'm still thinking about that person. You're going to think about them. You dated them, right? So let's not be ridiculous. But again, know your environment, know who you're talking to, and speaking it does help you get through it. It helps you get through, you're going to run into things. All of a sudden, you're with your new girl, song comes on. How do you manage yourself through it? You got to think about these things. It's going to happen, right? Songs come on, situations happen, you walk into a place, you see somebody, it's gonna happen. You gotta process it, and it doesn't mean once it happens, if you have feelings, that now it's time to be over. No, that's ridiculous. You've already done the work and whatever. It's just that each situation, brings up a rawness sometimes in you, and you need to kind of feel it, and then again, grow from it. And move on, peeps. That's all we're trying to do here, is move on, right? And find a way to shift. This is how you find a way shift from anger and sadness to healing and good health in your next, love, life part of your journey, right? Is really slowing down and seeing the perspective that each of those moments teaches you. Right? And you could be with somebody, I will tell you, for 6 months, and all of a sudden one of these things happens, and it's okay. You're going to be all right. And it doesn't mean that person was the love of your life. No, that is not what it means. All it means is, wow, that your brain, your heart are dealing with a situation that has been revived for a second because you see them, or you have something that reminds you of them. Or maybe the person you're dating says something and you're like, oh shit, that's something that someone else used to say to me, right? And I don't want that to happen, and blah, blah, blah. Again, process it. Think about it, work it through, communicate to your friends, to your therapist, and then, to your new sweetheart, right? Because it is not okay for you to just hide because you're like, okay, I can't stop thinking about this, but I can, whatever, I can't, it's not ready. No, look in the mirror, look at the great person that you are. see all those great qualities that I see and that your friends and family and loved ones all see, right? And remember that you deserve, one love is not how it works. I'm sorry, in this world. It doesn't. It is slowing down, it is learning from everything and finding somebody else, in your life journey and for love, right? And it can happen, but it can happen and it will happen successfully if you walk through, like I said, and gain some past relationships and gain some perspective on it, okay? And learn to love yourself again so that someone else can love you. Because as the Indigo Girls say, and I'm going to say something from my Indigo Girls, we are better off for all the love that we let in, right? So let that love in, let that sweetheart in, heal from it, learn from it, gain new perspective from it, say so what to all the noise around you, your friends, all the shit they want to say to you that says, oh, you're not ready, blah, blah, blah. And say, whatever, I'm ready, my heart's ready, I'm ready. There is no timetable, there is no anything. It is me looking in the mirror and just saying, I got this. I'm ready. I'm a better me. Let's go get it. All right. I hope today helped you. Keep shooting, questions and whatnot in my DMs. What do you want to hear about? Loving all the feedback I'm getting. And again, this is Coach Sean, over and out. So what?